Check 1, check 2. This is it. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour with your host, me, Rob Cantrell, coming back for another episode with an amazing guest. He wrote for Joe Pera. He actually wrote for the television show Saturday Night Live. He does stand-up comedy. He just shot a special in Buffalo. Give it up for my buddy, Dan Licata, everybody.
What's up? Thanks for having me, dude.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Just making sure everything's focused. What's up, my man?
Not much, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for being on the Cannabis Coffee Hour. We're here at a restaurant called Milk and Roses in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And it's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. And I knew you lived in Greenpoint.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the water, and you know, with sound, the sound could be off.
They're doing construction on every inch of Greenpoint right now, I feel like.
Yes.
I can't wait to see when the city's finally finished. It's going to look awesome.
It's going to look so rad. I'm so glad that we just, all these trucks and all these buildings and all these walk-arounds is going to be worth it when fucking there's just water slides and hang glide machines everywhere in this city.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so the sound down by the water is a little tough. I was thinking about putting you on a boat, and
that would have been nice. I haven't been on a boat in a minute. That would have been real nice. But yeah, a logistical nightmare too, I'm sure. So
yeah, that is. We'll there's a couple paddle boats, and I want to do a episode in Prospect Park on the paddle boats, and you would have been perfect for it.
Dude, paddle boats are the bicycle of the sea, and I love a nice paddle boat.
Oh, dude, we would be popping wheelies right there on the water, going nuts.
Doing some drifting.
Doing some drifting. I'll crank up the DMX and smoke some bodega weed out the back, and we'll just rock the sea.
Hell yeah. Get some K2. Some K3.
K3. Is that the spice drug, like the fake weed? Yeah,
yes.
Do not do that, kids. Don't do that. I've known people that fucked themselves up with that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not into the bodega weed. I actually just had a little. This is the Cannabis Coffee Hour. I know you're kind of going minor threat, hardcore, not drinking, not smoking for a minute, and I respect that.
Not fucking either. Everyone forgets that's the third part of straight edge is don't drink, don't smoke, don't fuck, but a lot of these straight edge dudes are fucking and they're posers, if you ask me.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I heard about Ian McCaw getting a hand job.
He was the guy in the theater that was on the date with Lauren Boebert, actually. Yeah.
I think he was. I think he definitely handed her the vape pen and got I hate talking politics, dude. I've been trying to steer away from. Dan will steer right into politics, social politics. You go right in. But me, I'm trying to stay off of it. But the Boebert stuff, and I'm totally anti-January 6th, any anti-Proud Boy. I'm not fucking with any of those zones. I'm flying a spaceship, not trying to take over the spaceship government. But I respect everybody, and I'm not on this planet to judge. But Boebert, yeah, she went hard in the paint that night.
I mean, I haven't seen the Beetlejuice musical, but I mean, it sounds like something that would get me all riled up, and I would.
You got to take some flash photography of a Beetlejuice on the road Broadway rendition 20 years later.
Yeah, man, just that number. What was that number in that kind of calypso type song in the movie? Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Coming in time. Okay, everybody. Yeah. Now, Beetlejuice wasn't a part of my childhood. It was a part of your childhood. I
saw it on Disney Channel when I was probably 7 years old, and it kind of freaked me out. It was a little too freaky for me when I first saw it.
Yeah, Tim Robbins is emo goth. They found him smoking heroin in the Lower East Side or something.
Oh, really?
No, it's just his style.
Oh, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. I'm sorry. Not Tim Roth. I'm sorry. Tim Burton's artistic directorial style is very dark and edgy, especially at that time, and it still transcends.
Yeah, very goth, gross. Yeah, totally. Nightmare Before Christmas too. I saw that when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I was just like, it gave me nightmares before Christmas for real. That shit freaked me out.
What was Nightmare Before Christmas about?
I don't even remember. I kind of
Who was in it?
Eternal Sunshine, that whole movie. But it's like claymation. There's like a skeleton and some shit. It's like
That's
Halloween. I don't know.
Was it Pixar?
No, pre-Pixar.
Pre-Pixar.
It was claymation, not computer.
Yeah, and kids would eat acid and watch something like that as a sketchy teenager.
Definitely.
That was definitely put on the Dark Side of the Moon album.
Yeah.
And watch, what is it, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's definitely got some emo
Definitely. When I was in college, my one roommate was like trying to get us to eat acid and watch Scanner Darkly. You know that one that what do they call that, rotoscoping, where it's like this animation style. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was like, dude, I'm not gonna fucking do that. I'm sorry. He was always trying to get us to do that. I'm like,
Faces of Death. Yeah, all that kind of like mixing psychedelic drugs. That is something as a teenager, and a lot of your. Dan Licata is one of my favorite comedians here in New York City, and
Thanks,
Joe
man.
Pera, the whole vibe, the whole team. Shout out Joe Firestone, who's been on this podcast. Joe Pera. But yeah, your comedy has always had like a different edge than Joe's, actually. Like, you definitely have some emo goth.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. A lot of my jokes are about like, it's like a Mad Lib. I took this drug and watched this movie, fill in the blanks, and that's like an easy formula for my humor, I feel like.
Mad Lib, you can't top Mad Lib style of writing. It's just fun. It's always funny, whether you put something bad or good in it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm definitely in the same camp of mixing the cauldron of comedy as much as possible. And especially in these times and ages, like I'm doing more and more weirdo shows, and I'm thinking about getting a beat machine, and I'm just trying to mix it up.
Yeah. I just saw, this band Godflesh? You ever hear them?
No.
Dude,
I've heard Godsmack.
Okay. Even heavier than Godsmack. I just saw them this past weekend and fully lost my hearing for a full day, but it's like this industrial metal where they have like a drum machine, and it's like these like almost like old school hip hop beats, but just the heaviest music on top of it. These like demonic vocals, but you can kind of groove to it. You should check it out. It was totally sick, and like I said, I like got like temporary tinnitus. I thought I was going deaf for like a full day, but it was so sick. Yeah.
Godflesh, coming from Norland, we have an 808 drum machine and a death metal guitarist.
Yeah, it was fucking sick.
Yeah, they sound the vibe sounds. I know what's that one? Mugash,
Mogwai or something.
Yeah. It's some like super. No, there's Mogwai, and then there's another metal band that's technically like really good. But this sounds. Music has just gone way out there. How'd you find this band, Godflesh?
I feel like, God, I don't know, man. I don't know how I discovered somehow
Spotify
like
heavy? Are you YouTube heavy? Is it friend heavy? Do you have a? Because you definitely played in a bunch of punk rock, like DIY type of venues. Are you on a mailing list that has the good shit?
I feel like it's like, so here's how it'll work. I'll like, there was this band Napalm Death, who's this grindcore band.
I know them, yeah.
Yeah, so he was one of the original members of Napalm Death, but then went off to do this industrial metal shit. So it's kind of like, you look at the family, you hear this band that you like, you look at the family tree, start looking at like, what did he go on to do? And then you start looking up similar bands to that, and it just sort of like, I get very obsessive over like one hyper like specific genre, and I'll just listen to that for like a month straight, and then like move on to something else.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And
so right now you're going heavy metal, industrial.
Yeah.
And you're saying, do you listen to? Oh, so Napalm Death is fast. And then Power Trip, right?
Yeah.
So Power Trip, that was Joe's boy.
That was my boy too.
You know that cat. And I listened to them, and he's like this wiry, I say is or was, I know he's past, respect, but I do think you should talk about dead people in the present tense.
Okay.
Like, I think it just brings their spirit. But so his like, he has this wiry, like, wiry, soft, nice thing, and then would play this just powerful metal music, like almost more. If you think Metallica's heavy, you don't know shit about Power Trip. Like, it's a heavy thrash metal.
Yeah, they were like the best thrash band to come around in a long time. I feel like this band here, Fugitive. This is Blake from Power Trip's new band. Definitely check them out.
Shout out Blake.
Shout out Blake. Shout out Riley. R.I.P.
Yes, R.I.P.
The man, truly.
But it is, because I don't know the, dude, but I do know metal enough, like my next door neighbor, shout out Jeff Sherlock, opened for Metallica in the speed metal band called Nosferatu.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and Jeff Sherlock was like back when these kids rode fucking dirt bikes and had nunchucks and would beat you up, and he was that dude. But he had good music. Like, he turned me on to a lot of early metal. Like, I saw some early cool metal. So I know I have a little bit of affinity. I mostly listen to hip hop. Yeah. But the artwork with metal, I love the graphic design. I love Heavy Metal Magazine, the cartoon. I guess it's a little bit of sci-fi fantasy wrapped into the metal world. Would you say?
Absolutely, yeah.
And there's somewhat of an escapism to it.
Definitely.
Why do you like I heard something about like heavy music actually brings your blood pressure down.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Like listening to like that type of shit. That's why these like teenage boys are all stressed out because their dad's been taking the belt to them since 12, and they just want to listen to heavy metal in the car because it brings their blood pressure around.
Interesting.
Trying to make the SAT.
I could totally see that. For me, sometimes it's like a second cup of coffee. You know?
Yeah,
I feel myself just sitting there, like, you know, powering up, getting ready to like.
Let's get it done.
Let's get it going.
Because you did a comedy special, you had to get it done. You needed some coffee.
Yeah.
Get them energy.
Yeah. So I guess I could explain the concept of the special.
Let's go into the special. We can go metal. I'm sorry, I got you off of metal music.
Not at all.
Let's go metal music and then the special.
Okay. Yeah. So the concept for the special, I shot it at the high school that I went to in Buffalo for an audience of teenage boys. And, they were actually a really fun crowd. Like, they laughed at everything I thought they would laugh at. They were confused by everything I thought they were confused by. And, sorry to... Forgive me if this is embarrassing at all to bring up, but I was 15 when I saw you perform for the first time.
Oh, dude, I always loved the story.
Yeah, I
always loved the story.
Rob was one of the first comics I ever saw perform live, opening for Mitch Hedberg, and I still remember like several bits from your set that night, like not to do your own material to you, but the one bit you had about like how surfing is the only sport where an animal might come out of nowhere and fucking kill you. Like, that was such a great bit.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. That theater, R.I.P., my man Mitch, Hedberg forever. The more time that's passed from doing that tour, the heavier it is. You know, it's just like, wow, I got to tour with that guy. Yeah. And that you and Joe were in the audience, and you guys are like my favorite young comics, and I think what you did with Joe Pera's television show was something amazing and definitely inspired me. So just hearing that, dude, to hear that theater. Do you remember that theater?
Yeah, it was sick. It had like the oldest organ. It had this giant organ and shit.
Yeah. And the weird thing about that show, the Buffalo show with Mitch Hedberg, is I was with Stephen Lynch. And last minute, Stephen Lynch got some Broadway show and pulled out. And it was towards the end. Mitch was like on a lot of smack, as you know, that you saw what was happening. But it was just me and Mitch on the bill. There was no Stephen Lynch. And it was the last time I saw him.
Wow.
That was the last time I saw him. the last time we performed, and that was after like 5 years of like, I opened for him when I was like 2 years into comedy, and then 3 years I got on to Last Comic, and then we circled back. I got to do that tour, and he was like, yeah, not to go into Mitch, but Mitch was like, comedy has a lot of dicks. And Mitch wasn't a dick. Yeah. Mitch was cool and creative and kind, and had his own demons, but in terms of like vibes, he was like one of the best vibes to hang with.
You could totally sense that. Yeah, he just seemed like such a genuine, sweet dude.
Yeah.
And like seeing him live was like seeing one of your favorite bands live too, because it was like, I want to hear him do,
the elevator joke.
I want to hear him do the Dufresne's joke. I want to hear, you want to hear the greatest hits, but like, any other comic, I feel like if you saw them live and they're doing shit you've heard before, you'd be like, I already heard this shit. But with him, it was like, hell yeah, dude. And me and Joe like had to ask our dads to take us because I was 15, Joe was 16. Like, we needed like our parents to drive us there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I remember we're sitting down, and the first thing my dad says, he goes, so is this like gonna be drug humor? And I remember I was like, I don't know, not really. And then I remember you told a joke, and I didn't really understand it at the time because I was 15, but you said something to the effect of like, I don't do cocaine for 2 reasons, 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Do you remember that?
That was a building block joke that I always had. Yep.
Yeah. And I just remember my dad looking at me like, so it's not drug humor, is it?
Yeah, I would definitely do drug and sex humor and everything. But yeah, that was an old cocaine joke. And sometimes I'm like, I wonder why I never went mainstream. And then I look back on some of my jokes, I'm like, oh yeah, I did have like kind of a loud edge to it.
I do remember thinking at the time, like, I'll understand what this means one day. I was like, yeah, like.
But it is a good joke. It's an anti-cocaine joke. It is. I was trying to tell the kids it wasn't cool.
Yeah. No, I should have listened to you, dude.
You had a rough night. In your 20s. In your 20s and 30s, you kind of enter cocaine worlds. That's when it's kind of like around. I never did it. That was the one thing that I regret. Mitch offered me coke one time, and I didn't do it with him.
Yeah.
And now that he's dead, I'm like, I should have had one night of just staying up and talking with him.
That would have been an interesting guy to do.
Yeah.
To do coke. I kind of, when I was in college, there was like a 2-month period where we were going through it, and we'd always do it off. I had this DVD. It was all of Spike Jonze's music videos. And
I still have that DVD.
I got that DVD. It's sick. But for whatever reason, that became like the surface that we were always doing lines off of. And one day I like left for class, and I had there was a couple lines on there. There was more than a couple lines on there. And then I came home, and my roommate was pacing back and forth while watching the video to Sabotage by the Beastie Boys. I was like, dude, did you do all like 4 lines of Blow that were on that? He's like, I wanted to watch the Sabotage music video. I was like, God, what the fuck, man? He was just tweaking. Yeah.
Come on, everybody, it's a Sabotage. That is a great DVD for young filmmakers. So you were probably doing it just right. I still have that DVD, and I still want to watch it again.
Yeah.
All those early. Spike Jonze just like killed it, like in terms of he just did all the things that we like. With this, I do have a little bit of a fisheye. Oh, our food is coming. Check this out.
Oh shit.
What do you have?
Yeah,
we got the bacon and egg. This is
amazing.
Milk and roses. This is peanut butter and jelly French toast.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
With a little flour on top too.
A beautiful flour. This is amazing. Thank you. And then you have oh my, that looks awesome.
I got the tomato, egg, and bacon breakfast sandwich, and I gotta say I'm happy with my choice. No regrets there.
Yeah. Let me just I know this is cheesy, and I never take pictures of my food, but I am trying to acquire just a little bit of B-roll, and I think this is one of those times, like, when I'm in the editing booth, I'd be like, why didn't I get a picture of that motherfucker?
Oh, yeah, get a good...
This is video.
Snapshot of that. Oh, yeah.
We got some bacon.
Get
We got
some
zooms.
zooms.
I like how they did that egg. And then the cilantro and the egg and the yolk and the big fat tomato, a big slice. There's the Zoom recorder. Okay, here's the PBJ joint. Okay, that's enough of that. Enough of that. Eat,
dude.
eat,
Yeah,
eat.
that J looks damn good. That looks like fresh J.
Oh my God, fresh jam, strawberry jam.
Wow.
This is like this crazy Italian place, but they have a great brunch, and you can see we got this whole backyard. It's a Wednesday. We're eating French toast. We're and you're having a sandwich. I know I'll talk and eat and talk. But what do you have? What is that? Do you have? Look at that bacon.
I mean, this bacon. I'm not to be one of those guys, but this is some damn good looking bacon. You could tell this was ethically made. They treated the swine fairly. You could absolutely tell just by
clean
the glisten.
Swine. The pig had clean toenails.
Ooh,
and do you think that's oven? You think they did that? I think that's baked.
Yeah, this didn't come off a griddle. This was baked for sure.
Baked. The thing about baked bacon, do you ever bake bacon? Have you gone through it?
Dude, I haven't baked bacon. I got to try it.
Yeah, you never go back, but it does take 15 minutes, but you never go back once you do. I mean, you do. I still do it. I try not to eat crazy bacon, but last weekend I did do waffles, and I made some fucking oven bacon. And for some reason, in the oven, the grease just cooks the fat. Like, it cooks it all out. It's not like slobbering all over the place.
It doesn't come off dripping. Yeah, this looks clean, man.
Clean and mean.
Clean and mean.
And then a good tomato. I do love. And Dan, look, you are Italian, right?
I am
Italian,
indeed.
and this is an Italian restaurant, and I love fucking big tomatoes. I love slices. Shout out to Joe Pera. I know he likes tomatoes.
You know his ass love a good heirloom tomato.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Heirloom tomato, and those are some fat heirloom.
Dude, yeah, here's some juicy.
Buffalo. Does Buffalo got good tomatoes?
Yeah, I feel like Buffalo has incredible pizza as well. I feel like Buffalo's not talked about when the big pizza debate happens. I feel like Buffalo gets overlooked, but and when I say Buffalo pizza, folks, I'm not talking about pizza with buffalo chicken on top of it. That's not what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about regular pizza that's made in Buffalo, New York. It's geographically midway between New York City and Chicago, and I feel like the pizza reflects that. The dough is a little bit thicker, but it's still soft. It's not like this hard fucking crust like Detroit style or whatever. Yeah. It's really good.
And it's heavy on the cheese.
Pitch. Yeah,
heavy on the cheese, but it's not like a deep dish.
Yeah.
It's like heavy on the cheese, and then your crust is like super fluff, and they go doughy on the crust. Now, what's the buffalo sauce? Does it have a little extra spice, or they go thin, or they go little sauce?
A fair amount of sauce, but it's just good tomato sauce. Nothing too, no extra spice, just good clean sauce. And then you get some wings to go along with it, and you just have a little night to yourself. The second after I filmed the special, I was being real crazy. I was eating like a rabbit the entire month leading up to the special, and
staying lean and meat.
That night, I put back probably 6 slices of pizza and 10 wings easily, and it was the best night of my life, dude.
Oh my God! How many Labatt's went down?
Ooh, yeah, probably about 9 to 10 Labatt's if I had to estimate. Official sponsor of the Bills.
You know I know what's up with Buffalo. If you're talking Labatt's, you know this kid, if he housed some wings and he had some pizza, there was definitely a Labatt's that went down.
You gotta.
His mom was drinking Labatt's. His dad's drinking Labatt's. Everybody's drinking Labatt's and eating wings up there. In the best. No, we talked deep. No, what was it? I did a podcast about the song Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Which, if anybody knows, the biggest rock star out of Buffalo is Rick James.
Yes.
Rick James and Ani DeFranco is what Buffalo has.
Goo Goo Dolls, don't forget.
And the Goo Goo Dolls, don't forget.
Yeah. Sorry, it just reminded me of a
Go ahead.
story. There's this one time in high school where they told us that we were going to have a special assembly on Friday and that a special celebrity guest was going to be there. So, sorry, I told this story right as I started eating bacon. That was really rude of me. I'm sorry.
No, it's DIY.
Yeah. If you got a problem with that, call the cops. I don't
Eating pot. This guy's eating bacon on the podcast.
But they told us, they're like, all right, we have a special assembly on Friday. There's gonna be a special celebrity guest there, and everyone was like, oh my God, who's it gonna be? The rumor mill started. Like by the time Friday came around, everyone was like, I think it's Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z is gonna come to our school in Buffalo, New York. And then the assembly happens in the.
How old were you? What grade?
I was probably like 10th grade,
10th grade. Oh, yeah.
15. And then the principal was like, all right, here he is, your special celebrity guest, Robbie Takak. And then there was like a couple second pause, and everyone was like, huh? She goes, the bassist from Goo Goo Dolls. And then he comes out, and you could just hear this audible, like groan of disappointment. I felt so bad. Really good. But it had been hyped up so much, you know.
Here's a song that you probably don't know.
And I don't want just the bass line. Boom, boom, boom.
They sent the bassist.
Yeah.
They sent the bassist. But he probably had a good house in Buffalo.
Oh,
Robbie's
sure.
house probably got a cool crib in Buffalo. He's got some snowmobiles.
Robbie Goo's definitely got some snowmobiles. Maybe like a little half pipe in the backyard or something. Snowboard half pipe. Yeah.
Oh, snowboard half pipe. He's probably got a good recording studio. Other cats come in there, hang out. Probably has a good life. In Buffalo. Yeah, Rick James had his own studio, and they recorded in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Because you can ball out in Buffalo.
Your dollar goes a long way there for sure. I definitely have those midlife crises every couple weeks and living in New York, being like, man, I could be living like a king if I just moved back, packed it up and moved back.
It's almost
back west.
There. Yeah. Up north. But I did live in Buffalo for a while. I did like a construction type gig, and my buddy from college started a company where he was getting recycled wood, and he was buying like foreclosed houses and then pulling out the wood and selling the wood to, like, Colorado. I'm going to build my, ski cabin.
Oh, shit.
But I don't know what happened to that business, but I did like 2 months in Buffalo living and drinking. And I was just hired to, like, tow, like, wreck houses and pull wood out of it.
Yeah.
But I had a blast.
I had no idea, man.
Yeah, just for a couple months. It was. I did it to go into New York. Like the first time I moved to New York, I took the train in, and I lasted like 3 months. But I made money. I made like $3,000 from doing that like job, and then I went in, and then I just got my ass kicked.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just like Buffalo and New York City. There's a thing.
I feel like the big park in Buffalo. Fuck, I'm gonna sound like a moron here. Delaware Park in Buffalo kind of feels a lot like Central Park in New York because it was designed by the same guy. I want to say it's not Frank Lloyd Wright, but it's some guy.
He's like that. No,
I don't know.
They say the same thing about Prospect Park. Like the Prospect Park, this is the same guy who did Central Park.
Yeah.
What's his name? I don't know.
They should have named it. Should have named it after yourself if you wanted us to remember your name, dude. You know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like Buffalo. They did what we were going into beautiful houses downtown. Now we didn't do those, but there were like these huge porches, these old like 10-bedroom houses that were selling for almost nothing because it's all mixed up. But yeah. You could ball out in Buffalo with a little bit.
Totally, man. You could. I feel like once my parents finally kicked the bucket, you know.
You're going to move back?
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm not living in Buffalo is because I don't want to live in the same city as my parents. But as soon as Mike and Jane bite the dust, I'm back, baby.
I'm taking back my territory.
Only so many Licatas can live in the same city, I feel like.
Yep.
Oh, damn, dude. Come to Milk and Roses, get the tomato, egg, cheese, and bacon sandwich, dude. That's some, what kind of cheese? Provolone, I think?
Ooh.
Some sharp-ass provolone.
Some sharp-ass provolone, but
you
everything
put an eye out with this provolone. It's so sharp, dude.
That's some sharp provolone.
Sharp-ass provolone.
Does Buffalo sharp cheddar? Do they have Buffalo sharp cheddar? I know Vermont has the cheddar game. Like Vermont and Wisconsin had the cheddar game. Provolone, yeah, you might have to go to Italy to get some provolone. Same thing if you're going to get some Swiss cheese, you got to go to Switzerland.
Yeah. Yep. That is some sharp provolone, dude. I have a pretty high tolerance, but man, that'll put some hair on your chest. You ever been to Italy, dude?
I have. Great coffee. Loved it. My brother worked for the Navy, and he was working in northern Italy, and I got to go up there. I also, I performed in Amsterdam. I did the High Times Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam in 2007, and they got me a room, and I had to write an article. That's how I didn't get paid much, but I got to get paid by writing an article about it. And then I went over to see my brother, and I visited Rome. Yeah, I loved it. I got the style. I love Europe. Italy's dope, but it was northern Italy. The food was amazing, but the thing that I loved was the coffee. I love good coffee, and the espresso game is just ridiculous. Yeah. And the marble bars, like I love that. Like I'm gonna just mosey up to this little bar that's stationed everywhere in the city and take 2 shots of just like...
So you're just wired the whole time?
Wired the whole time. Nice. Walking, talking with family, taking dumps, the whole thing.
Sounds beautiful, man.
Yeah, it was a blast. Have you been there?
No, dude. It's on my list. I feel like as an Italian, I should go to the motherland at some point. I would love to go on someone else's dime, if possible.
True. That's how you got to mix it into something.
Yeah.
But you didn't go. But didn't Joe Pera? I did a couple gigs with him, but didn't he go to Europe? Did you get to tour with him in Europe at all? Did you go?
I did not.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. He had. He did London, Ireland. Yeah, he did most of the UK, and then I think a few other cities like Copenhagen.
But you were getting married, and you were doing
Yeah, I had my own shit going on, But
I do know.
Yeah. I really only got to open for him. This makes me sound ungrateful, but I got to open for him in all the places that you would. Like Houston, Texas, and Boise, Idaho. I got to go to some cool places too, but not like Copenhagen. No.
Not Copenhagen. I feel bad.
Not Helsinki,
Yeah. But yeah, I did. I feel bad because I think you were out of town is when I got to do it because I did Buffalo.
Yes, I was on my honeymoon.
You were on your honeymoon trip. Mm. So and what was that music venue there? We did.
Did you do Town Ballroom?
I think we did the Town Ballroom.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah, that's a cool spot.
Yeah. And, it was definitely... that was like one of the first gigs right out of the pandemic. I didn't go hard in the paint with stand-up during the pandemic. Did you?
No, I was like... I was at SNL at the time, so I was like, that didn't really afford me the time to, like, do stand-up. But also, it was a little sketchy, like... pre-vax, it was a little sketchy.
No, I turned down. I was one of those guys. I went a little bit too hard. I never caught COVID. I got every vaccine.
Yeah.
I hid out. I smoked and ate edibles every day and just hid out and barely survived. And then I'm barely crawling my way out of it right now. But yeah, I wanted to talk about Saturday Night Live. Dude, I got you for like 10 more minutes, and then you can go house on this.
Oh, dude,
but
yeah.
Keep on picking at it.
I'll do a little pick.
But I do think that the Saturday Night Live stuff is interesting. And you know, that's a dream gig. So if anybody knows Dan Licata, he worked closely with Joe Pera, helped develop the show, create the style, wrote some sketches, wrote some some of the top episodes that they had on it. And then you got picked up. Joe's show like stopped, or were you doing both at the same time?
It kind of just worked out where second season was completed, or maybe it was second season was in post production when I got hired at SNL, which was totally random. Like, I didn't apply for the job or anything. They saw me at JFL, brought me into audition. Off of that, I was like, all right, whatever, I got nothing else going on, like never thinking they would hire me. And then they did, based off that like 5-minute audition.
Oh wow, and you did the real deal.
Yeah. And you know, I wouldn't say I knocked it out of the park when I was there. I think I got like 2 sketches on the 2 years I was there, but you know, I describe
but
it.
You got the gig, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It put food on the table. Yeah.
No, but I do think it's just sick that you did that. I mean, that's a dream job for any comedy kid, and that you got to experience in that. And it's such a mainstream show for your style. Just to hang in there for 2 seasons and get a couple funny things and not completely go bitter.
Yeah.
As you kind of just did it and you kept it moving, and I think that's dope. And that you weren't looking for it. Like you weren't like, I'm trying to be on Saturday Night Live. From the first time I saw you, you weren't doing it.
I feel like there were people at the audition that day that you could tell that it was like, this is my dream. This is everything I've been working for my entire comedy career. And I kind of just had the attitude of like, whatever. I'm just, oh man, this bee is trying to get in on my tomato egg.
You got to zen this one out and see what he does.
See what he does. But yeah, I think they sense that like in auditions, like if you're desperate, it's not good, and actually is a disservice to you. Man.
Wow. Yeah. That's the thing about eating outside is like flies and bugs can always fuck it up. But being in that hallway, so they said, okay, you're going to do 5 minutes. And you're like,
this bee wants this bacon so
dude,
bad.
He's going to put honey on that bacon.
Yeah. Can you get West Nile virus from a bee touching your bacon?
I don't know. Should I you could put a napkin on it.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll put a little bacon over here for the bee.
Or come over here, bee. Come get this. You want some of this sticky? You want some of this?
He doesn't. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Go over there. There you go.
I'm happy to share. It's just, you know.
I think he likes you.
He's got a crush on me.
I think they just sense the energy, what we feel. So I'm gonna sense you away, B.
Yeah. That's all right.
Is that what it felt like? Like that's probably the anxiety level of doing an SNL audition is a bee on your bacon.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it. Imagine a bee on your bacon.
Yeah,
that's what working at SNL is like.
There's always a bee on your bacon. Do you remember that hallway? Was your heart pounding right before doing that 5? Because you literally did I'm in front of Lauren, all these writers.
Yeah, it's the same place that the host does the monologue on. So yeah, and I wasn't nervous. I was like totally zen. And then yes, it is like all right, go ahead and do it. And then I kind of like, you know, like the first time you did stand up, you kind of blacked out for the first 30 seconds.
Totally.
It was like that for like the first 10 seconds, and I was kind of on autopilot. It was like an out of body experience.
Yes.
And then people tell you they're not gonna laugh, like just expect silence. But then I started like I got a laugh pretty like soon into my set, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is just a normal set, and then the rest is history, I guess.
That's so cool that you got to experience that, and you got hired, and you did it, and you performed it, and you weren't even looking at it, and just to have that, yeah, it's almost like the time you almost get a tooth pulled. Like, it's like there's just certain moments in life where you can't deny the seriousness of the situation.
Yeah.
But that's exactly when you should deny the seriousness of the situation.
Yes.
To win in that situation is to deny all seriousness of the situation.
And you, like, I talked to this one guy who had, like, he was a musician and he had, like, stage fright, and he would take these, like, beta blockers or whatever before he went on stage every night. And I'm like, having that little bit of nervous energy is necessary, I feel like, you know, like,
Totally.
Yeah, I need that. It helps me with my performance, you know, like, if I didn't have that little bit of nervous energy, I feel like I would be. You ever see people who get up there and it's just like they're the same energy off stage as they are on, and it's like, come on, man, turn up the gas a little bit, you know, juice.
Give us some espresso. It's you got to express yourself. And no, dude, I mean, I really did go into comedy for the juice and the live performance, and that's what I respect about Saturday Night Live is like that pressure is fun. And yeah, I still get nervous before I perform. It would be weird if I didn't. And then another thing that I was reading about, and I've always had anxiety, like but I didn't ever say it when I was young. And I think that's why I smoke so much cannabis, is that I'm cutting, like, it's a way of me dealing with anxiety. But I read something about, do you know about, like, anxiety leads to greatness? Like, you got to be worried. All I'm saying is, it's like, I'm a hippy-dippy, peace, love freak in my heart, but at the same time, a little bit of worry, a little bit of, oh shit, it's about to go down.
Yeah.
It helps you arise to the occasion, I guess.
I totally believe that. Yeah. And I feel like people who are, I think a tinge of self-doubt too is helpful, you know. I think if I ever encounter someone who's like a little too just like, yeah, I'm the man, I got this shit.
They call him Mr. Touchdown. Yeah. The quarterback of the campus. Yeah, I used to always say, like, that overconfident, like, of course we're going to do this. Yes, you know it. All the time, I'm going to put a spiral right down. We're going to win this game. And hey, no, you got to have a little bit. And with my meditation is like, learning to live in the moment is just like has cut down everything. Dude, are you on some Eckhart Tolle? Are you doing meditation at all?
I don't meditate. I feel like just listening to music is my form of meditation. And
power trip.
Hell yeah.
Do you headbang?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's a young man's game, you know what I mean? You definitely wake up with the bangover sometimes, or you're like, oh, fuck, my neck's all stiff and shit. I got to go to the chiropractor. But, so not to keep bringing it back to Godflesh, but that was so cool because it was like you could kind of dance and groove to it. So, like, I kind of enjoy that. There's something like about being in your... Yeah, you know, the being in your 30s, and it's like, I don't want to just run full speed into a bunch of other sweaty dudes. I kind of want to like groove a little bit. Man, I sound like an old man, but I like to groove a little bit too nowadays, you know.
I don't like to get punched in the face. I don't like to have my tooth move 2 centimeters to the left after a show anymore. Aggressive music is kind of trip, but it is fun. And thrashing is fun. I get it, dude. I love old Black Sabbath. I love a metal. I play guitar. I love and the headbanging thing. Like we had Adam Dubin, who directed the Beastie Boys "Fight for Your Right" video. He also directed Metallica's "Nothing Else Matters."
Dude.
But he did this thing where in the Beasties they had the Orthodox dudes in the front row when they're rocking out, and they had them headbanging like this, whirring at the wall. And we were talking like there is something to that. Like I do think music. The last episode, Napoleon and I had email. We were talking about like hip hop is like mantras. Like I do think music is mantras, and I think metal music is mantras. You're literally like programming your subconscious in some way.
Yeah.
And part of that is just like, just feeling it.
Yeah.
Feeling it in your body and your soul.
Damn. Music is mantras. That's my new mantra, dude.
Music is mantras, man. And dancing is to pump blood through your heart. So you can pump the bacon right out of it.
Dude, this was almost like a challenge. Like, this almost feels, it's like do a podcast while there's a delicious plate of food in front of you, and like challenge yourself not to just fully go Cookie Monster style.
I know this is total, but we're wrapping it up, Dan. You've
been more than
good. We're at 45 minutes. I'll put some funky beats. I'm trying to film some B-roll. I'll film some stuff of the sandwich a little bit in my toast. Let's enjoy our food. Shout out to Milk and Roses. This is in Greenpoint. It's a nice restaurant, and they have a great backyard. If you're ever around here sleepy and want to smoke a joint and eat amazing bacon sandwiches and peanut butter French toast, this is the spot.
Yeah, it's the bites I've had of this have been top tier.
You can have all the bites. Anything you want to give a shout out to before we do you want to plug anything?
I mean, stay tuned for my special. It probably won't be out for a few months, and where it'll land, we're not totally sure as of yet, but just follow me at Dan Licata Sucks on both Twitter, Instagram, all that shit, and watch the special when it comes out, please.
That's it. Dan Licata, man, thank you for doing this. I love you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the Cannabis Coffee Hour. Peace and love, everybody. That's it. We're done.